July 27th.
Welcome to the Summer Bash.
Create new fundraising opportunities. A lot of programs can get stagnant whenever you have the same fundraisers every year, and then you have the same people interested in those same fundraisers every year, so you're not really growing your reach. So we were trying to kind of combat against that, so we're actually partnering with...
Here we go. It's okay, bro. Chill. It's not that serious.
Something about drinking a challenge just tastes a whole lot better.
But honestly, though, look at us and look at y'all.
Yo, welcome back to the San Leone Boys. It's your boy Griffin.
Happy Monday or whatever day this is. It's your boy El Bing.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Adon. We don't have Bazo on the ones and twos. We have Isaac back there. Shout out to him. Shout out to Tanya. And want to introduce two people out here trying to better the youth of our community, in charge of the Big Brother and Big Sister program, Miss Lindsay and Miss Joanna. Have a round of applause for them, please, please. Ladies, so how are you guys doing today, first and foremost?
Very good.
You guys look
We're
lovely,
good.
by the way.
Thank you.
Glad you didn't walk here. You would have melted on the walk over here. So you just want to tell me a little something about yourselves?
Okay. I'm Joanna Galvin, and I have been with the agency for 13 years.
God.
I'm originally from New York, and I moved
Are
here
you-
in 2011.
This guy, they're from...
Your reaction to that was crazy. Man.
What, 13 years isn't a long time?
Depends, man.
13 years is a long time.
Yes.
He came back like 13 years
So
ago.
what part of New York?
God died.
New Rochelle, Westchester County.
Oh.
Familiar, Kelvin?
Where are you
I'm from the
from?
Bronx. From the Bronx. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, fuck out. Gang signs on the
BX, stand up.
Yeah.
You can do
So, New York, and why the move from New York to here? Did you go to Dalton or immediately from New York?
Yes.
Or, yeah?
My now husband, at the time, my boyfriend, moved down here, so his family relocated, and we stayed connected when I was in school, so I made the
Oh,
move.
so you guys met in New York? Originally, both of you guys originally from New York, or?
Yes. So I met him when I was 15, and we've been together for about 20 years.
God, 15.
Wow,
That's awesome.
beautiful, yeah.
Kids?
3. Two
Nice.
girls and a boy.
Nice. Well, how old are they?
Their birthdays on the next 2 months. So Anthony will be 5 at the end of the month, and Analia and Juliet will be 11 and 9 on August 21st. They have the same birthday.
Oh.
20 years, man.
They celebrate their birthdays together then?
Yes.
They don't get a
Oh,
separate one?
They probably hate it. You know?
Yeah.
it's
Or they're not, or they're getting to that age now where they hate it.
they've hated it for years. They have very different personalities, so it's interesting.
And Miss Lindsay, a little something about you. Where are you originally from?
Dalton, born and raised in Dalton. I took over the program as director in August of last year, so I'm approaching my first year.
How long have you been with the program?
Just since August. Mhm.
Oh, so okay. So for August was the meeting. So were you doing something before, similar, or?
I was the business manager for the Salvation Army prior.
Okay, so always kind of in like as far as like the community, like giving or something like that. What
Yeah.
made you want to do something like that?
Honestly, growing up, I was from a really religious family. My dad was actually a pastor pretty much my whole life. So I think I've just been around people helping people for a long time. So that was kind of my interest going into college. I got my degree in criminal justice actually at Dalton State. So
To be a cop?
no, definitely not a cop.
He hates police officers.
He has a big thing against him.
Nah, police officers are fine.
He used to date one and she broke his heart.
You guys just say anything on here, right? There's anything.
I think that's why we do this, actually.
Sorry, well, continue.
But
No, yeah, definitely no interest in being a police officer. My original plan was really to be more on like social service sides of things, but I actually enjoyed a lot of the coursework for criminal justice better.
Okay. Because the social service, I know it's like kids and like stuff like that, or just what does that entail? Social service.
Honestly, a little bit of everything. I think social work, as of right now, just how a system is set up, is kind of a catch-all.
Yeah.
So anything that's any kind of helping profession at all, which stems from like DFACs, anything with our programs, anything from dealing with like homelessness, food banks, anything like that, it kind of captures everything.
if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 26.
26. And the director of... Dang.
If
I've
you
been
don't mind
very
me asking,
lucky.
what's your blood type?
I don't know.
No, okay. This is,
What's your blood type?
I just have a business. I have a side business I'm working on.
Do you know your blood type?
O positive, brother.
B positive. You're O positive?
Yeah,
Get
bro.
out of here. You're a universal donor?
Yeah, man.
Congratulations.
You need some blood right now.
No, I'm good. And so, Miss Joanna, what made you want to get into this business 13 years ago?
So I've always liked working with children and working with others. While I was in college, I was able to do a program where we were college students helping out elementary school, and it just kind of followed with me. I was leaning more to the teacher route while I was in school, but then I realized I didn't really want to be a teacher.
Why is that?
It's a lot of work. It's more, I love children and I love working with them, but I felt like I could do more of a one-on-one difference if I was able to be in this field where I can go ahead and help specific children and be able to make a certain impact on them.
Because in the classroom, right, it's kind of hard to control everybody.
Mm-hmm. And the teachers do work hard, very hard, to help every student. So this way, our agency allows them to have extra support with the volunteers in their classrooms.
And so 13 years ago, just describe me first getting into the program and your experience.
So it was a partnership with the Hispanic Scholarship Fund at that time. It was Big Brothers Big Sisters and the Gozetta Foundation had gone ahead and given Georgia State money, and they had 3 locations. They had Northwest Georgia, Atlanta, and then like the Savannah area. And the partnership here in Northwest Georgia was with Big Brothers Big Sisters. Savannah was with Boys and Girls Club. And Atlanta, I think it was with UGA. So they had to find people in specific areas to help the youth. And part of my job went around going to the 5 counties around here, Floyd, Gilmer, Whitfield, Murray, and Gordon, and talking to the high school students to get them to apply for these scholarships. And the other part was volunteering and vetting the students at the Dalton Public School System.
Cool, wow. And then Miss Lindsay, for your first experience there as director, immediately go into there as director. How was that for you?
It was definitely a big change, coming from more of like the Salvation Army side of things.
What'd you do with the Salvation Army?
I was a business manager there. So in that role, I did a lot of our like program writing. If we were going to expand anything, I partnered with everyone in social services. I managed our thrift store. I did our financials.
I remember I worked at in Chattanooga. They have like the halfway house that's like linked with the Salvation Army. I don't know if you're familiar at all. So it's like for the Federal Bureau of Prisons, where they have like prisoners, like a rehabilitation program where they're able to like go out and like prisoners that are still like under federal custody, but they have like 6 months left on their sentence or something like that. So instead of them just going out to society with no job, no like nothing, they're allowed to go in this like program, this halfway house where they stay there, but they're allowed to go out, get jobs, work. So then when they already have funds, they already have an established living, and that was through the Salvation Army as well. So I was there as a correction officer. So I was confused when I first. It was like when I first got out of the Marine Corps, it was an easy job to get, you know.
Yeah.
And so I worked there, and it was weird. When I first went, I'm like, I was expecting the prison. I'm like, what is this? Like next to a
Why are they so free?
church? Yeah, I'm like, why are they so free? Why are they in regular clothes?
Lock these guys up.
Why is he able just to walk by me? And most of them are like, especially the older ones, just really want to do their time, see their family go away. But you could tell like the younger ones that they're just gonna come right back, and of course they do. But so I didn't even realize there's like just so much more opportunities as far for rehab, even like prisoners, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like so it's a good thing. How do you feel like it has benefited like kids as far as with this Big Brother and Big Sister program?
I think it's a really great program. A big thing a lot of nonprofits say is like we want to meet you where you are, which I think is a great mantra to have in general, which is something that our program definitely does. It's not negating any of those cultural or societal or any struggles that a family or individual child is having, and instead it's saying, no, you have these issues. What can we do to meet you there? So trying to match them with the best volunteer that's going to be suited to what that child is struggling with.
Not trying to like it's all rainbows and butterflies, right? Because it's not. You know?
No, it's definitely not.
Kelvin, word through the grapevine, you were a Big Brother?
I was, man. Dawn High School, graduated in 2012. This was my freshman year, so I'm guessing this was around
2009.
Yeah. I'm not good with math. I'm sorry. But yeah, I only did it for like 3 months because then I switched schools to Southeast. But I do remember I was in Dawn High School, and then the kid that I had was in City Park. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was another question I was gonna say. How do you figure how to match like a Big Brother, Big Sister?
So during the interview process, both for the volunteer and the child, there's like interest questions, and we go ahead and see what your interests are and what the child's interests are. And we also have a reference and a referral from the teachers or the counselors. So depending like what we get to learn from the volunteer as the interview is going and what needs the child has, we go ahead and match. We really try to match boys with boys because we know that need of like a role model for all the boys is very needed. And most of these boys are either being raised by single moms or are in a household full of a lot of women. And we try to find that connection. So as first, it usually goes male buddies with male little buddies, but then we'll try to find with the other interests. We'll ask the female volunteers if they're okay being matched with the little buddy that it's a male.
How important?
Sorry, no, go ahead.
How important do you feel having a male role model in a child's life is?
It's extremely important. We can tell when the parents bring in their applications. The buddy program, all a parent needs to do is sign an application and basically allow us to go visit the child at school and allow the volunteer as well. So in that questionnaire, we'll ask them, like, what needs does your child need? And most of the time, a lot of the moms answer, okay, dad's not in the picture, dad's been inconsistent in the picture, and they just want that child to have a male bond. Because there are some questions that, will feel uncomfortable asking your mom or asking your sisters, and we want them to get the best information they can from a positive person and not necessarily their peers that might not be giving them the best information.
That's how it is.
Or the internet.
Yeah. Nerd. How does the interview process go?
So most of our volunteers are either sent in by me email, and sometimes our computer system works, and sometimes it doesn't. We're still trying to figure it out.
Classic.
But we also get phone calls, and then we'll schedule an interview for you. We'll ask you to bring in your driver's license if you're going to do the community-based program, which is...
Community-based, you're driving?
The community-based program is different from our school-based. Our buddies are the ones that go and visit a specific site, so they're usually in schools or at a specific location. The community program, the volunteer actually goes and picks up the child from their house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they can see them at any time. They'll just call the parent and say, hey, is Juanito free this weekend to go watch a soccer game, or are they free to go have lunch at McDonald's? And usually that's more of the parent and the volunteer scheduling, where our site base, it's more of our facilitated schedules where we are on location with the volunteers and the children.
Oh, so is it like during school? Were you doing it during school, Kelvin?
Yeah, I was doing school. Yeah. I was a student.
How was that, man? Talk about that, please.
Well, when you're at school, man, you're like very...
you said freshman, so you're 14, 15.
So it was just more of like you get to get out of class for a little bit, so it was cool, But for us, it was more like a school trip that we would take every Friday, and we would just go there and talk to the kid. But my kid was super cool, man. He was this little black kid, literally just like me, perfect match. And but yeah, man, he was it was cool, man. It was chill, but you could tell like you said that he didn't have like a male role model in his life because he was just asking me like normal like dude questions and stuff like that. I was gonna say when these because you said. Mainly, so these are like grown adults, right?
So our site base, our school base, the one that you were in, is 15 and older. You can sign up.
Okay.
And then for the community-based program, it's 18 and older.
Okay. So these people that are signing up to be volunteers, like for the most part, what are the main reasons that they give you that they want to do this?
Most of the time is that they have free time and they want to give back to the community. So they've either heard from us from like United Way or different campaigns, and they're just saying, I have some time, I want to be able to make a difference in a child's life. And it's kind of like the trial of a babysitting. So if you want to have kids, you kind of see if you can get along with kids first. And we've had that situation where like volunteers like, oh, well, I don't want children. And then they actually become a big and they see the connection and the impact. And then their minds change at times.
So is it a lot of adults that don't have kids or adults that do already have kids?
Right now, it's a lot of like empty nesters. So their kids are off at college and now they have a lot of time and they want to make another connection.
And that's good too because they already, like you said, they already raised the child. They already have somebody in college. So maybe like a underprivileged, kid that they can help give those same directions that they gave their own child. That could be major, man.
Yes.
Because I feel like sometimes we don't understand how much of a disadvantage some kids start with, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
So many kids, one mom with 2 jobs and 5 other siblings. It's like you can't compare, that starting at that starting point than somebody that starts with 2 parents, maybe only 1 sibling, very good income, So I think it's it's perfect what you guys are
Yeah,
doing.
and I feel like, unfortunately, with a lot of, especially like the older ones, it like really makes them to like grow up too fast, and they're like they become like the man of the house, and they have to like I gotta take care of my brothers and sisters. So it's good to have them because no kid should be doing that at so young.
Yeah, and they have an adult now, so they know the stages of like of like being a young kid or being a young rebellious teenager, and then being a young adult. So it's good.
Cause dude, my brother, man, that dude needs help. If he would have had that, my oldest brother, love him to death.
No,
man.
Juan needs a big brother, big sister right now.
Right now.
At 40 years old.
There's just a lot of trauma.
But all seriously, it is true. And do you guys like keep like, I guess, in contact with like the younger kids and see how they're doing later on, or how does that work?
So our like alumni program, we do.
Okay.
There'll be times where if we know they're graduating, we've had little buddies become big buddies, and then they become big brothers, where they've known the impact that their big had, so they want to go and give it back to littles now. And then some of them will graduate from high school, and then they'll go ahead and decide to continue being matched. We have some contact information, but a lot of the issues like phone numbers change, so we're trying to use social media, and we try to use other connections in order to keep them, if they ever want to come back. Once you've done the application once, the process is a lot shorter. So usually it's interview, then reference check, background checks. We also go ahead and do driving record check for the community-based program, because a child is going to be in the car with them, and an online training. Online training usually is about 60 minutes, and it's at your own time and your own pace.
What if you're a very big texting and driver? Does that count? Do you consider that?
Well, I mean,
As long as you promise you're not going to text and drive while the
Oh,
kids in the car.
okay.
But most of the time, a lot of the things that deter us from accepting a volunteer will be just if they've had any issues with child neglect, child endangerment, DUIs, depending what the situation is.
Does stuff like that come up often?
Sometimes it does, and it's a little bit surprising how to handle it. Cause
Yeah, like you already messed this up. What are you trying to do this again?
No, what we try to figure out is once a person comes in and we accept that they're giving of their time, and time is very special, and everyone's time is valuable. We unfortunately have a hard time trying to express to them, like, we acknowledge that you want to be here, but unfortunately this may not be the best fit for you, so we'll try to find them someone else that might be a better fit.
So right now, in the little short time that you've met us, would we qualify to be a big?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, we'll just have to run the paperwork
I'm
afterwards.
good. I'm clean. I had a DUI when I was 17, but it was expunged from my record, so that was good. I was able to enlist, so I'm good. I'm a service member. Well, I'm a veteran, dude.
They're not denying you.
I got defensive.
Why do you automatically get the old man voice?
I got defensive, dude.
Oh, I'm not good enough for you. They didn't say nothing.
Talking about some trauma, man. I had something recently happen. Just kind of like a side note, but so growing up, I was obviously Mexican household, father, very like that machismo, that man, you're a man, be a man, you're a man. And my nephew, my older brother, lives with me, and he has my nephew. He's young, 3 years old, something like that. And I was sitting in the living room, and he was crying about a roach, like whatever, like in the bathroom or something, or like in the kitchen. He was eating, so there was like a roach or something like on the floor. And he's like, "Oh, Theo, there's like whatever." I'm like, "Just kill it." Then he's like, "No, I don't want to scare him." I'm like, "Just kill it. Shut up, kill it." And then I just kept watching TV. Then he started crying, and I'm like, "What are you crying about?" Blah blah. And I kill the roach, and then I'm like, "Why are you even crying? It's just a roach, just a bug." And he just starts crying. I just like immediately, I'm like, "What are you doing, dude? Why are you like who like it's a 3-year-old kid. It's okay if he's scared of a roach." So that was a big like whoa, because I knew where that came from. Like that was my father speaking, So I was like, man, I'm sorry. So I hugged on. I'm sorry, Toby. Like when you're big, man, you'll kill these, no problem. I promise. And he's like, yeah, when I'm big like you, Theo. I'm like, you'll never be big like me, boy. But you will. So
Well, hopefully he'll live in a better neighborhood. Doesn't have roaches,
yeah. No, I'm trying to get out, dude. I'm trying to get out.
Oh boy, he lives in the hood, is what it is.
Subscribe, man, so I can move out, dude. But. So it's true, and but I'm at that age where I can see that, so I could see that, a lot of this trauma, because I think a lot of how people are now, as far as like how they deal with situations, is because of like their upbringing, and I don't know. So I'd wonder what it'd be like, having that big brother, or being in the big brother, big sister program, something like that.
But just having like a functional household growing up, dude. Yeah. I wonder that a lot.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people don't realize how much like the family that you have, affects you. which is big time, man, big time. I was gonna tell you. I was gonna ask you, Lindsay, right?
Yes.
Okay, can I call you Linz or no?
Sure.
All right, Linz. Sorry. I like to make people feel comfortable, man. So you said you went to school for criminal justice, then you Salvation Army, and now this. What motivated you to do all these like service jobs? Like, what happened, I guess, in your life that you were like, I want to help other people?
It's kind of a hard question. I don't think I had like a bad life growing up. I grew up in a great family. I think because we were religious at that time growing up, I think it was just seeing so many other people struggling. And because my dad was the pastor of the church and my mom had an active role in the church, they were consistently the people that everyone sought out to talk to and to explain things, which kind of bled over into me and my brother. So then people also felt that attachment to us and like, let me tell you about this. So I think it's something you just kind of get used to. And I think definitely in college, first choosing to do social work and then kind of shifting over into criminal justice, I think it kind of opened my eyes a lot to how much is really happening on like grand scheme and small scale just in your local communities that you may not see every day, but it doesn't mean it's not there, and it doesn't mean that's not the everyday for someone else.
And depending, like even here in Dalton, depending what side of town you're on, like it's different. Like especially like for us, I feel like we're always kind of on this side and stuff like that. But
I
now
got roaches, brother.
yeah. But I'm joking. He lives in a good neighborhood, dude.
Depends who you ask, though.
It's just a duplex. So, it's like if your neighbors are not too clean, that kind of like, leaks over. But my boy's clean, though. My boy,
Thank
very
you.
aesthetic, nice apartment, always smells good.
A lot of plants, a lot of
Yeah.
plants, a lot of
Guys,
records.
you guys don't have to
books.
defend me. It's
Vet-
fine.
veteran,
everywhere.
he's single,
Thank you.
anything
Thank
like
you.
that.
Oh,
Stays
yeah.
in shape, runs
Almost
well.
100% of disability on the VA
Yeah.
and everything, It's sad.
Just a really,
All right.
Just a catch.
Thank
Just
you,
a
guys.
catch.
Thank you.
Bench is
Thank you.
bench 315 for like 8
But just go ahead, please. Continue.
Has a brand new truck out
No,
there,
but even that, like we have a sponsorship and they're the Maganas liquor store, like down here, and it's like by MLK, and I'm not, I don't go there a lot.
He
by
locked
there.
his doors last time we were down there.
I had to, brother. I actually used one of those things you put on the steering wheel. But even there, like just like hanging out there, like just going there like every few weeks, and you see like the people that are outside and asking you for change and stuff like that. And sometimes we're stuck in this bubble and we don't realize like people always think about like bigger cities, like Atlanta homelessness or whatever, like homelessness, New York homelessness. But like we have homelessness here. We have those same problems here.
Yeah, we definitely do. And it's really unfortunate because especially in this area, people don't like to talk about homelessness and people want to stay away from homelessness. So definitely working at the Salvation Army, that was a big portion of our clientele because we did have a food bank, we had transitional housing, and just even those struggles, like not having an ID. That is something that is going to hinder you so much. You can't get a job. You can't really do anything.
How do you even get it? You have an address? Or can you get an address? You have.
No, you're just stuck.
Wow.
That's one of the things we started while I was at the Salvation Army is we worked on a partnership with the DMV so they can provide IDs to people now.
So
That's true, man. Because you don't have an ID, you don't have anything.
yeah.
How do people get into that? And I know we'll go back to Big Brother's business here in a minute. But how do you get to the point where you don't have any paperwork, your name, you lost your name, everything? Like how do you get to that point? What in your experience? Like how do they?
I mean, it can be really anything. I mean, it could be something as simple as going through divorce. One person gets the home. If it was a messy divorce, the other person may end up homeless if they don't have family in the area. It could be a house fire. It could be you lost your job. I mean, there's so many factors that kind of bleed into that. It may just even be your family you have. Maybe you have an unsupportive family and you got kicked out of the house at 16, 17, 18 and you didn't have anywhere to go. Especially if you were doing poor in school, you're not going to go to college. So
Yeah.
you're stuck.
And I feel people see homeless people and they automatically assume, drugs.
Yeah.
Right off the
So
bat.
not working, lazy, da 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 da. But it's true. It's so much more. You have no idea.
Oh, yeah, definitely is.
I was gonna say, I forgot what we were talking about. What were you saying earlier?
About nice apartment. He runs a lot. Oh, okay.
brand new
Not that.
2024 Tacoma.
It wasn't that. Well, a little bit of as your role. So what is it all that entail that you do for the Big Brother and Big Sister program?
A little bit of everything. So portion of our finances, any of our program development, manage our grants, any of our HR. manage the staff, anything like that.
And for the staff, I think last time we talked off camera, whenever we were setting this up, there was only 3 of you guys,
It
right?
is just 3. We're interviewing for a 4th, but
Wow. So how does that work? How do you run this?
You need another part-time job, Jordan?
I'm down.
He has 6 jobs. This guy.
I'll quit right now. I'll quit one. Start over.
He's a husband, dog dad.
Works at
The
Lowe's
local
and Home
sign
Depot.
guy. The local sign
And
guy.
signs.
I work at a sign shop.
And he has a podcast.
If you guys need a new sign, hit my boy
I
up.
work at Lowe's part time too.
Yeah, but yeah. So 3. How does that work? What I mean, is it overwhelming? Any or?
It goes depending on seasons. So right now we're going to go into our busy season where it's usually from about August to November, where we're vetting all the high school students and the little buddies as well. We have to go into the schools, we have to interview, we have to pick up their paperwork, we have to make sure their policies are signed, their teacher references have come back, and then we go ahead and interview the little buddies. And then after we've done that, we match and make sure we do it the most compatible way. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we get it wrong. So when we get it wrong, we try to rematch with someone else, and maybe, let's say, Billy isn't getting along with Abby, so we have to go find a different volunteer. And that happens with Anne is our other colleague.
Shout out Ann.
Yes.
Ann.
Gang.
Shout out Ann.
She is usually with Whitfield County Schools and of our adult volunteers. So she tells me when her schedule is, because she's our enrollment match support specialist at Whitfield County Schools, and then I tell her my schedule, and we'll try to figure out, okay, this week we're going to Southeast. Next week we have Dalton High. Next week we have Northwest or the Dalton Academy. Once we figure that out, we go ahead and do our interviews, set up our match dates. We do buddy parties, so when they get to meet each other, we'll have like a little bag that has a Big Brother's button for the little and the big, and some stickers and pencils. After that, we are also, at any time any volunteer wants to come in, we go ahead and schedule them. But we do remind volunteers it does take a process. It's not quick right now. We're going to, thank you for giving us your time. Go ahead and meet John at school today. No, it takes about 3 to 2 months, depending how back references come back.
Well, which is that's good though, because that means that's a thorough process,
Yes.
as it should be. Bless you, I think.
You spoke on interviewing the volunteers. How do you interview the kids?
Our national office has specific questions we have to ask. So we go ahead and we'll go into the schools on a specific day, and we'll speak to the counselor, the front office staff. They're unsung heroes that help our programs work, because they're always helping us find the littles when they're in school, if they're not in one class or in another class. And time is a big factor, because you're only there for about 30, 45 minutes, and it's only a once-a-week visit. So we have to make sure that, we call the school ahead of time and say, okay, this is the list for today. For today's program, are all these students there today? And they'll let us know such and such isn't there, so then we can let the volunteer know, hey, don't worry about today. Your little isn't there unless you want to go spend time with another little. Come in at this time.
But I was saying, what kind of questions do you guys ask the kids?
Sorry. We ask them, like, what do they like? Do they get along with others in school? Do they have friends in class? Do they like their teacher? Who's been their favorite teacher? Have they ever been in trouble? How are they doing in math class? What is their happiest day that they can remember? What do they worry about? Who do they worry about? What stresses them out? Do they know how to keep each other safe? Do they know how to keep themselves safe? Do they know what to do in certain situations if they are unsafe? We also ask, who do they live with? Yeah. How many times have they moved? Are they okay in their home? And not straightforward like that, but basically in a roundabout way with the other questions.
Right now, too. I was like, how do I answer these?
That literally, I almost started crying.
You definitely have been doing this for 13 years.
Oh man, that felt crazy, dude. It was like the inner kid in me trying to answer that. Oh my god!
I was like, yo, slow down.
So to their point, have you ever discovered? You don't have to say anybody's name, of course. Any like stuff going on at home, or any trauma or anything like that while asking these questions?
So sometimes we get a lot of I don't knows, and we'll get a lot of students kind of staying quiet about certain situations. And what we do is we don't want to bombard them, so we'll just be like, it's okay, we can come back to this question at another time. We find out a lot of just like you said earlier, our families are working hard to keep their kids stable and, to provide for them. But it's a lot of time of mom's working morning shift, dad's working night shift. So they're kind of raising themselves. And they feel like there isn't a person that they can count as their own or someone that they can talk to without being judged. Because we do have it where our parents will send us to clean our room and we don't want to clean it. And like, oh no, don't talk back to me.
Yeah, I'm going to run away right now.
Yeah, no.
Packing my one toy, packing my Rey Mysterio and leaving, dude.
So we go ahead and
Me and Ray are going.
we try to find a way for to let the counselor know, hey, this student might need a little extra more support than we can provide. Like we'll provide the volunteer for them as well, but they're struggling a little bit more. So you might want to speak with them a little bit one-on-one if you can.
Is there any specific stories you could tell us, or it's cool if you don't want to?
Well, we had one student. He felt like he had no siblings and no one around, and come to find out, he had a lot of half siblings, but at other schools. So one of the volunteers, our Southeast volunteers, go into 2 different schools. So they go into Antioch and they go into Dugup. And I think this year possibly they're going to go to Valley Point. So I think in passing, he mentioned to this little boy, oh, I work with such and such. And he's like, oh, I think that's my cousin. And then he went home and told mom, and mom told him, no, that's your brother.
Oh,
That's your half brother.
Wow.
So then he was able to create that connection and be like, oh, okay.
I have a brother.
I have a brother. Yeah. And then a lot of our littles, teachers will tell us, like, they hate school, they don't get it, they don't want to be here. But when they know it's buddy day, they're on their best behavior. They enjoy, seeing their big buddy because...
So it's almost like a reward a little bit.
Yes. But we do remind the schools that they're not allowed to take it away. Like, you can't use this as discipline. Like, this is their buddy time, and they're here with their buddies for a reason. Yes, we know things happen. Let's say they get, in-school suspension. But, their buddy will go sit with them in that time in the in-school suspension room for those 30 minutes and just talk to them about, okay, well, what got you into the situation? What can we do to make sure to get it? Next time we'll handle our anger better. Like, we won't throw a shoe at someone, or we won't throw... scissors at someone.
Oh, that's crazy. Scissors to sharp,
Maybe you don't bring a gun to school next time.
So then,
kidding.
As far as the questions for the volunteers, I mean, what kind of questions do you ask?
Oh, we get to know you. Yes.
Real part, and I'm sure that is more straightforward, right?
We get we ask about your personal life right now, like how do you spend your free time? What do you enjoy? What activities do you like to do? Who do you consider your friends? What's your circle of friends encompass? Like, is it old friends, new friends, church friends, just social friends? Do you drink? Do you do anything else? Are you currently doing certain activities? Like, what do you like? And we also go ahead and ask about your childhood. So, how were you disciplined as a child? How do you feel about the way you were disciplined? Like, who was the affectionate person in your household? Was it mom? Was it dad? Was it your grandparents? How do you feel about the affection, and how would you demonstrate that affection to others now if you were to have a child? Do you stay in contact with your family? How often do you speak to them? Are you current? And what's your marital status? Are you single? Are you dating?
Single.
Is your partner okay with this? Because sometimes, when it's the community-based program, since it's of your time, outside of work and it's on the weekends, sometimes you take away time from your own children. So we ask, are your children okay with this? Like, is it okay for, are they going to be okay for you to spend time with a different child that's not your own? Are they going to be okay? Is your wife going to be okay? Because sometimes, you have to consider it's a commitment. And that's what I try to remind volunteers when they want to come into the program. I always suggest the site-based program first because it gives you a little bit of a glimpse. Right. And the community-based program, that one goes ahead and, you're in it right away. Like, you're picking them up from their home, you're taking them out. We try to provide discount cards if we can from local businesses. They're awesome. They're like, okay, we'll do 10% off of this, or if they bring in the little can eat for free. But it's financial. I mean, and it's not just a time volunteering, but you're also volunteering your money. And we appreciate it because you're making a difference, but during these times it's hard.
Yeah. Especially,
no, I was just say those questions seemed a lot easier than the first.
Oh, I could answer those. I could answer those. Yeah.
Speaking on financial, right? Miss Manager or Director? Which one?
Director.
Director.
Yeah.
Okay. How does because I know you guys are a nonprofit, but apparently, I mean, obviously, you guys you have employees and bills of your own you have to pay. How do you guys make money?
Grants our United Way here in this area is really supportive of all the nonprofits. So a lot of the nonprofits here are primarily funded by United Way. Lots of grants, and then just community donations too. A lot of times we'll have really supportive individuals.
Okay. And how do you split like those funds?
Well, right now how our budget works is because we do have 2 programs. It's just kind of divided up between the staff that's needed to run those programs and then the amount of hours that are going to be kind of put behind all the matches and things like that.
Okay.
We also do fundraisers.
Yeah,
Which
Fundraisers.
I think we have one to talk about, right? July 27th coming up.
we do, yes.
So this should be out the 22nd. So this will literally be that Saturday. So please talk about. Wait, does it have a name? It's
Yeah.
just a fun
It's Summer Bash.
summer bash. Summer bash.
to the summer bash. Give me your horns. Give me your horns.
Kelvin Cohen's part of the summer bash.
So please talk about this the summer bash.
Yeah, so one of the things we wanted to do this year in my first year was create new fundraising opportunities. A lot of programs can get stagnant whenever you have the same fundraisers
Right.
every year, and then you have the same people interested in those same fundraisers every year, so you're not really growing your reach. So we were trying to kind of combat against that. So we're actually partnering with Crescent City. So
Shout out Crescent City. Shout out,
Yes.
shout out.
Shout out my favorite
Molly,
place in
everybody
Dalton.
there.
yeah, so they're working with us really great. So we'll have a cornhole tournament that day. We'll have a mechanical bull, face painting, popcorn, snow cones. Is there anything else?
No.
Dunk? Water dunk?
oh,
thing?
yes, the dunk thing.
Thank you.
I thought you meant basketball. I win that, bro.
No, you seen the hoop there at Crescent City is super tall, dude.
Have you seen me jump?
You're right. Yeah. But
Show him right now.
Nah, not in here. That's unprofessional, brother.
so how does that go about doing this fundraiser? And are you just taking I guess what's the word I'm looking for?
Sponsorships.
Sponsorships and the vendors and stuff like that. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, so we have sponsorships. So depending on the level, if you want to enter in the cornhole tournament, you can do a sponsorship that way. You can just join the cornhole tournament if you don't want to be a sponsor, or if you want to sponsor and have company signs or anything like that placed at the event, you can without having people present.
And the other activities are kind of ticket based, like at a fair. Like you buy tickets, and let's say you want to dunk that person that's in the dunk tank at that time, then you just go ahead and come over and buy some tickets. And
July 27th. What times? So it is a Saturday, right?
It is a Saturday.
Saturday?
It's 11 to 6.
7 to 6. Nice.
How much would I have to pay to get Kelvin to be the one sitting in the dunk tank?
he would have to volunteer.
Yeah.
With those braids? You just got them done.
Could I pay like $10 and you just drag him in there?
What is it,
I'm not going
27th?
to drag him in there, but if one of you guys wants to drag him in there, you can.
27th. I think I can do it. I can get wet on the 27th. What day is it of the week?
Saturday.
Saturday? I'm good for Saturday.
And I know. So also, you guys also do host golf tournaments, or is that something you're a part of? Or and then I think there was a bingo night at the country club. Is that what we talked about? So how does that also go about? Just kind of the same thing as like talking to them and kind of coordinating that.
Yeah, so our golf tournament, it will be in October. It's usually on a Monday. I think that's the 21st this year. So a lot of it is sponsorship based too. A lot of different companies like Dalton Utility, Shaw, different local places will have teams come. We have our Silver Bell Sprint. It's in December. So it's a 5K and 1 mile around like downtown. And then we have our big night out at the country club. It's a casino night.
Oh, casino night. I was saying bingo.
Can't take George to that. He's a recovering gambler over here.
They just said that.
And,
I don't want to talk about it.
And golfing at Knob North, right?
Knob North.
Oh, beautiful course. I went there once. I got like a plus 55, dude. It was so bad. But that's awesome. I love that. And then is that just people that come in and like how do you guys go about promoting this and getting teams? Is it just kind of post and they just message you, or?
It's a little bit of everything. We usually send out like a mailer to everybody that typically comes. So any of the companies will send out something. We usually post on our socials, our website, anything like that. Some of it is word of mouth, but a lot of it is this consistent teams that come every year.
But anyone's welcome.
Oh
to
yeah,
come.
anyone's welcome for sure.
So like anybody can just show up that day and just
Register.
Yeah, it'd be easier if they registered prior, but we could probably squeeze in other people.
It doesn't
there.
have to be like teams. Like it can be like single people, or just like it has to be like a group of people.
I
that
think
go.
historically
Let's talk
we've
about
done
golf, brother. We were talking about
teams.
golf the rest of this time.
No. I'm just.
It's mainly teams, but if there is, let's say you want to sign up, we'll find you a team. And then
How many? What's the teams? How many a team?
4.
Yeah,
Four?
it's about 4.
Are you allowing people with pro cards in there, or like nah? Because
So there's cash prizes. I mean, I
okay.
think the top 3 of each division.
it's all right. We have too much
So,
money.
so
but,
then,
yeah.
and then as far as
we'll do it for the
as far as
fame.
casino night too,
For the
like
clout.
is that just like individuals or is that teams or?
It's we get gaming tables I think from Chattanooga or Atlanta, and it's just like basically you're playing for fake money, and then at the end we have about 3 prizes. I think our top prize is a green egg, like the grill.
Ooh, I've
Then-
been wanting one then. So I'm gonna go.
No, we getting that grill. We getting that grill, bro.
And then
getting that
the
grill.
second prize is a round of golf, either at
We getting that round. We getting that round, bro. We getting
I
that
think it's
round.
at the country club most of the time.
okay.
And our third prize is about $200 worth of
We
gift
getting
cards.
that 200. We getting that 200.
Ayo,
baby.
sign us up.
I don't know how we're gonna be first, second, and third place, but
First, second,
First,
third.
second, and third.
there you go.
Or-
There you go.
Yo,
First,
but-
why am I third? Why
Oh,
am I-
sorry. It was just the way it looked. Sorry.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you're right. You do read left to right.
How do you think you would have benefited from a big brother or big sister?
I feel like I would have a lot, man. Like I do got siblings. I got my sister's 10 years older than I am. My brother's 4 years older than I am. 10 years already a big difference. It was a big step.
I felt like you're your big brother's big brother, though. A little
Oh,
bit.
yeah,
Yeah,
same.
and then like
That
my
guy has
brother.
problems. Sorry, David. I love you.
Me and my brother were really different. We butt heads a lot and stuff like that. So we never really got like younger age. We never really hung out a lot. Or like anytime I would try to hang out, he's like, "Get away from me! I got my friends. Leave me alone." So then I kind of just stuck to my friends, and luckily, like the road I lived on, I had like a cool like little group of people there. So like I hung out with them a lot, and I kind of like treated them as like siblings and stuff like that. But I feel like if I did have like an older sibling, kind of just like, hey, come with me. I'll take you wherever you need to go or whatever. I wouldn't be riding my bike across the bypass when I'm like 12. Or I wouldn't be like riding my bike from like the mall to like, a mile down the road or something by myself. So I'd just be like, I don't know. I feel like it would be a little bit more, some of the dangerous stuff I did whenever I was younger, I wouldn't have done it. A little bit more calm and everything.
What about you, Kelvin? How do you think you would have?
Well, I do have actually, unlike George, I have a great big brother.
No, yeah, shout out to E. He's
Shout
a
out,
good
shout out
brother.
Elvis one time. He watches every podcast too.
Yeah,
man.
shout out to the man Elvis.
Like
man.
deep,
And
like
pre-
deep too. We have like some podcasts are almost 2 hours, and he'll like quote something like 57 minutes. I'm like, I didn't even make it this far, dude. How did you watch it? But yeah, I do have a great older brother. Shout out Elvis gang.
How did having him as a big brother affect you? That throughout your
It was
growing
good,
up?
man. Elvis has always been super responsible, super like on the dot, almost too much where he doesn't like understand certain jokes, But it's cool. It's cool. I love that guy. But I would say I would have definitely benefited of having maybe like a person that wasn't a family member in my life, and that I could maybe tell him some of the. Because I mean, me and Elvis are only 1 year apart. So basically, most of the struggles I had are the same struggles he had.
You're only 1 year apart.
Yeah, that nigga look old, huh? Sorry. I'll bleep out. We'll bleep out the word. We'll bleep out the word. That guy looks old.
Yeah. He acts way older, man.
He's stressed, bro. The stress ages you.
But I would have loved to like not have somebody that was maybe that close in age, or maybe like not a direct family member that could have told me like, yeah, that's probably not right. That shouldn't be happening. Because I feel like you said earlier, like growing in like a traditional Hispanic home, like a lot of stuff that we went through.
That's how it is.
Was just normal. And like now that I'm older, I'm like, oh, that wasn't supposed to be that way. Or like maybe my mom could have handled that better, But my mom was like 17 with 3 kids already, So she did what she could, man. She did a great job. Shout out Mama Kelvin.
Shout out Mama Kelvin. Happy birthday, by the way.
Yeah, which is actually her real name, Mama Kelvin. I'm a junior.
That's what it.
How about you, man? How would you benefit of having
I'll say likewise. I'm very close to my brothers, and one thing I said about having my oldest brother, he was one that was always there, but he is one that kind of grew up too fast. Him and my father didn't get along too well, so he moved out of the house at 18, married at 19, first kid at 20. So he's one that. But it's funny. I remember he picked me up from football practice, and he picked me up, and like whatever at the time he was still living at the house with us, and then he picked me up and he dropped me off, And then when he dropped me off, he's like, yo, all right, yo, be good. I'll be all right. And I'm like, all right, whatever. And then I get off, and then he leaves. I'm like, where are you going? What's going on? And then talking to like my mom, my brother, I'm like, oh no, he moved out. Like, he couldn't, like, him, dad kicked him out, whatever. And I was just like, what? Like that. It was just mind blowing to me. And so I'm getting a little choked up. Actually,
No, you brother, you let it out, brother.
but so I don't know. So having someone that I could have talked to about that wasn't a family member that didn't go through that same thing, maybe would have helped. Maybe it would have helped. But that was actually surprising. I didn't think I was going to. I swear, I did not think I was going to get choked up. But yeah,
Brother, if I took these glasses off, brother, it'd be a fucking waterfall right here, brother.
That's just
Sorry,
more,
we'll bleep that out too.
More trauma that you don't know. So yeah, I don't know. Who knows what it would have been like? But I do think that a lot of that adversity and that stuff that's happened to me has made me grateful for the relationship I have now and the people that I have here now. So
Yeah, I was gonna say that to add on to it. Like I feel like these guys are my older brothers, man. Even though I'm literally older than them, but
can't tell though. Look how good he looks. Though. That boy looks 27.
Thank you. But yeah, like I'm definitely.
Keep it on.
I'm definitely the more immature one, as you can tell, out of all of us. But it's cool, man, to have these guys around that can, check you, when you get a little bit too, out the line. I'm like, hey, man, maybe you shouldn't, be doing that. So thank you guys, man. I appreciate y'all, man.
Oh, man, thank you. Thank all you guys. Thank you guys. It's been nice.
We should learn a better handshake because
I do want to say that, like, you acknowledging all the things that you've gone through is the best thing that you're doing, because now you know how to work, like, with others and talk to others, like how you said it with your little nephew Toby. Like, you were able to quickly acknowledge it, and I mean, you're the biggest impact for him, and that is like what our volunteers go through. It's like the simplest things make the biggest change, and sometimes we don't see it, and sometimes the volunteers don't see it. They're like, well, I'm only going once a week, and I'm just playing board games, or I'm just coloring, or I'm just playing basketball with them, but I'm not really making a difference. And it's like, no, you don't notice that now. Kenny is in class and he's actually paying attention because he's excited to go to school. Maybe things aren't okay at home and they don't have food at home, but he's ready to come to school and have breakfast and have someone to be there for him, someone that he can talk to, like you said, that, has had an experience, but then they can tell him from their own experience, this is what I learned, this is how I handled it, but, go ahead and take that knowledge and see what you can do with it.
Yeah, and I do feel like our generation, like, I guess first generation, like Americans and everything, like our parents had like a lot of trauma from like back in Mexico and everything, or whatever, like other like country they're coming from. And like I feel now like a lot of people aren't like in our age group is kind of like realizing that, and kind of like we're trying to stop that generational trauma thing. So I feel like a lot of people like our age right now, like they do great as a buddy. Like they'll just be like, hey, like I know where you're going through, I've been through it, just look at it this way, don't do the same thing I did. Kind of like, I feel like me, for example, did a lot of stuff like growing up that I probably shouldn't have done, and I got away with, luckily, and everything like that. But if I had somebody like, hey, like you don't got to do that, like that's not what's cool, like just because your friends do it don't mean you got to do it and stuff like that. And I feel like that would help out a lot to like kids like growing up now,
or explaining why your mom's so regañona. Like maybe she's tired, like maybe dad's tired, and they never got a hug, or they never heard I love you, but now they are telling you this. And or maybe talk to them, because sometimes parents want questions too. Like a lot of things are on a kid's plate: stress about testing, stress about school, stress about just their friends aren't getting along with them, and they have that volunteer that they're like, hey, my best friend in class isn't talking to me anymore, what can I do?
Yeah, I mentioned it's also like as a parent, dude, because like it's easy sometimes for us to be like, oh man, my mom should have loved me more, or she should have paid more attention, or not been so regañona like you said. But it's like, bro, imagine working 12 hours at a carpet mill, bro, grilling all day, bro, and then you come home with 3 kids, the house is a mess, nothing's been done,
couldn't get the meat out the freezer.
Yeah, literally simple stuff like that, dude. So shout out my mom, man. Shout out mom for putting it down, bro.
Well, yeah, and like one of the things, I'm not sure who said it, but one of you said like all of those things growing up, they just feel normal because that's your consistent experience.
That was me, Linz. I put that down.
I put that down.
So
you quoted me.
That's how a lot of the kids feel now. Is a lot of the things they're struggling with, they don't actually know they're struggling with them. They may be feeling that internally, but they don't recognize it as a problem. So even having someone in their life just to talk to them and say, oh no, like you can do that. Like, oh, someone said you're bad at math. you don't have to be bad at math. Let's work on it. It's no biggie.
Right.
You want to go to school? You can go to college if you want to go to college. Just having someone to be supportive of the things that they don't actually know that they can do or even think about that they could be able to achieve.
Like letting them know like that's an attainable goal. You could actually do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is there anything you've discovered through the program about yourself?
That you never know what someone's going through. Some child can look like the happiest child. Some volunteer can look like the happiest volunteer, but we really don't know their experiences. Sometimes when those interviews come in, they're very deep. And it's kind of interesting to know someone's struggle and, you just see this amazing professional, but you don't know that, maybe they were homeless or you don't know that, they were raised by a single mom and all the struggles that they went through. But it's amazing to see how much time people love to give back and the differences that they make. And a lot of the things that I've noticed is I enjoy helping people make connections, and I enjoy trying to do the simplest things, even with my own kids. I'm a trucker's wife, so my husband's gone most of the week.
Oh, that's rough.
And he's trying to provide for us as much as he can. He's amazing. But it is hard. And
What's his name again?
Ismael.
Shout out Ismael. Gang one time.
You're calling me Ish or no?
And the thing is just that, a lot of these moms that are trying to give back of their time too, they acknowledge that, I'm trying my best with my own kids, but if I can go help someone else también, I will go ahead and do it. It's just an hour a week, or it's just 30 minutes during school time, but it's a lot, and it's a lot. It's amazing to see that, it's just time. It's just talking to someone. It's just spending a little bit of time with them, and it makes the biggest difference because it's very valuable.
And I guess same question. Have you realized something about yourself throughout this program?
I mean, I guess something similar. I think it's really interesting to recognize what your community makeup is and just the different spectrum of like where people are at in their life, and that, not all issues seem the same, but they're still really impactful for that individual. So like we've had one child in our program, I know when he started out, he was really shy and wanted to hide under the tables. And now he's at a point where he's picky about shirts and picky about clothes, and he's really developed a voice. But then it goes from the far end, and we had a group prior to me starting, and like one of their family members had committed suicide in front of the kids, and the kids were enrolled in the program.
Wow.
And it's just crazy to see like just the difference of issues that people are facing that maybe you don't see daily. And it's just crazy to think like how much of a difference like we're able to make in someone's life.
Man, that's honestly, that's awesome. I don't know a better way to end it. Gentlemen, any last questions, statements?
No, I think what you guys are doing is great, man. So big props for you, and thank you for donating your time and trying to make the community a better place.
Yeah, thank you guys. I teared up a little bit, man. That was crazy.
Just 3 words that I said. Got you.
No, not that. But so July 27th.
Yes.
Summer Bash.
At Crescent.
Dunks at Crescent City Tavern. Dunks. What else are we gonna have there?
Bull riding.
Bull riding.
Bull riding.
Basketball competition with
This,
Kelvin.
this is gonna be real. So we need to like really.
Okay.
July 27th, Summer Bash. What are we gonna have?
Dunk tanks.
Dunk tanks. What are we gonna have?
Mechanical bull.
Mechanical bulls. What are we gonna have?
Basketball.
No, basketball.
Right? That's a basketball?
I don't know.
But no, dunk. Sorry, different. Dunk tank.
No, she already said the
Oh, okay, my bad. We'll be there.
fundraiser.
Face painting, good cause, man. It is a nonprofit. Like I said, they do get grants, but a lot of it is throughout fundraisers. So please, make a donation. You don't have to be anything crazy. Join the cornhole tournament. Come out to the October golf. We'll be there. So come out if you want to get second place, because first place is already locked in with us.
Also, too, casino night.
Casino night. Everything. Literally, a good
Good luck
cause.
getting fourth place, because first, second, and third place is locked down by us.
So please come out, support this group. These are really good people, and thank you guys for what you're doing to our community and hoping building these kids to be great men and women of our society. So cheers to you guys.
We have an instrumental too. If you guys want to rap or anything.
So ladies, thank you. Isaac, take us away. God, I was really gonna cry.
No, you did.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't cry.
We